Hello and welcome back to the channel and to Car Dealer Simulator. The last video I did was a bit of a teasing video because we've got our most expensive purchase to date that we're going to restore back to as near as to its former glory as it can be to get the maximum profit. So we actually purchased this lovely Ignis here for $111,000, so a fair old investment because it had very low mileage and it was drivable. So the other ones that we got dotted around the car yard at the moment are ones where we basically bought them in a non-drivable condition and just replaced the missing parts. Did a bit of body work, did give them a wash and a polish so that we can start making some money back, because I've not actually done any sales in quite a while now as I've focused on the other bits. So I've done a video on the mechanical workshop bits because it's not as involved as it first looks, and it's much easier if then you can assign a worker. So we started a brand new day. For us that means a 7 a.m. start, and for our staff that means 8 a.m. So we should expect Paul, there he is, to pop up. So this is the mechanic that we've assigned, and once we speak to him, let's put that away because we can't have dialogue whilst we've got the scanner in our hand. Okay, so we didn't pay him for yesterday, so let's sort that out first and foremost. And then what we did is, off camera, I went and purchased some parts for the Ignis, and there was also some that were actually in a condition that we could restore them. So the first part of that was to ask Paul to take those parts off. I also had some in stock, so I could go on to, say, the brake calipers, and if you've got something in your inventory, then you see it shows up there in storage. Where it says none, that's because they were of such a poor condition that we needed to replace them totally. So we're going to go back through, and wherever there's something that says none, we are going to get them replaced. So that should get rid of everything that was in the red. So I should just say that what I'm not doing here is fully restoring every single component of the car in one go, because we can only put 10 items in the repair machine at any one time. So over here we've got another couple of items. Looks like some kind of suspension and potentially a gearbox. And by moving them into our inventory, it's making them available to the mechanic or ourselves. So although you can't see them visually, we've got quite a full storage rack there full of some pretty good condition parts. So let's go and put the parts that we've repaired back onto this one to try and restore it to primo condition. And then that should mean that we can have a look at our total estimated profit and then get it listed as well and see our actual profit. So that's 100%, we don't need to worry about that. 51% on the suspension. We've got one that's 100, so let's replace that. Same again. Gearbox, we want 100. Battery 100. Engine's already 100. We don't have a brake disc there at the moment. Over to the other side, we've got a brake disc there that we can upgrade. I knew I should have bought more of them. Calipers we've got quite a few of. What was that at 78? Some kind of suspension spring by the looks of it. And what do we got here? not enough fuses to repair completely. Okay, so that looks like a fuse box as well. So that is all the jobs that we need to do. So we can click on the square button, and we've paid for Paul because he is the most efficient. That also makes him the most expensive at $20 an hour, but for the sort of money that we're looking at the moment, it is absolutely money well spent. So he'll get to work on that, and then we can have a look at, I think there was one part that we didn't have that was 100%, which is a little bit annoying. Actually, I can scan the vehicle whilst it's up there. It won't, yeah, it'll still be showing what he's working on and not what's complete. So how long we got left? Just 20 seconds there. Other things that I'm going to be doing is, this has bugged me for a while now. I mean, it is good attention to detail that because I didn't get all the foam off the truck, or the tow truck, it's still on there. So I'm going to put that back into the car wash. There we go. Let's see what we had left. So we'll speak to Paul again. So we had a brake disc at 60%. The fuse box is at 98. And another disc there. Okay. So this is the thing, is when you're doing the repairs there, you have to kind of memorize the bits that, actually I don't need to memorize them at all, do I? What I can do is we can click on disassemble. So because the parts are on there, they can be repaired. I was just thinking we would need to go and buy them, but that's not true at all. So anything that's now not 100% is now going to be removed, and we will also repair those. Whilst we're waiting for those to repair, we can reassign Paul over to the car wash here. I'll just put the tow truck in there ready. So there is a bit of stuttering, as you saw there, because the vehicle, the size of it and the camera angle is kind of clipping with some of the buildings. You can adjust your camera angle. Okay, he's already taken those off. So let's head over to our inventory. And again, we want to take the damaged parts and we want to repair them. So has he taken the whole of the 2, 3? So there's a few here because we've got some extras. So we know that the fuses needed repairing. Oh, and that's 9. To go back in the fuse box, and there was something, I think there was 2 other items. So again, we're not going to quite get this all done in one go. So let's just check this again with our scanner. So it was a right rear brake disc, the clutch and the fuses. So clutch, brake disc and fuses, let's remember that. So that's going to be the clutch, a rear brake disc, and not the caliper. I think it's going to be that one. And then we need all of these. All of these fuses. Okay, oh, we put an extra one in there. What did we put in? Put an extra brake disc in. So let's take the one that's got the lesser percentage out. And can we repair fuses? Doesn't look like we can. So what did we take out of... So the fuse box itself was removed, I think, if I remember rightly, because that was it. I think what we'll do for the purposes of this video is the fuse box was at 98%. So we're going to be 2% off on the fuses. That's not really going to affect the price too much. So let's set this on its merry way, so that in this video we can actually capture the full profit margin in what has been our most expensive purchase, because that's what the video was all about. That's what it says in the title, but that's what the teaser was about. In the meantime, if Paul could pop over here and wash the old tow truck, that would be amazing. That should hopefully take about the same amount of time as those repairs. And then we should be in a pretty good place. So I've spent quite a bit of time getting to this point and not doing sales. So what I'd been doing is, to get through the progression levels, I've been trying to fill the yard up, and that was with the kind of lower end vehicles where we'd not really touched upon any of the mechanical stuff at all. We'd tried to go out and collect drivable vehicles that we could just basically do the bodywork and give a wash and a polish. What I'd found worked was that I could go and get them, I could line them up outside the body shop and assign that as a task to Paul, the mechanic, and once he'd done that, I could then do the car wash aspects to then get a pretty decent pace of getting vehicles ready for sale and then opening up the dealership. So I've kind of moved that on now to try and get the more premium vehicles, and that's what's been nice, is that the more premium vehicles aren't available for you to buy earlier into the game because, well, you wouldn't have the funds for them anyway. And so by upgrading and working through the stages, you then get the opportunity to move and work on vehicles that you haven't seen before in the game. They will at this point be largely undrivable, and I did cover that in the video, but just to recap, really, it means that there's a part or some parts missing from them, and the easiest way to do that, to avoid the faff of moving vehicles around various stations on your yard with the tow truck, which I did purchase separately for 30,000, or with the dolly, because I find that quite difficult to operate. Then once you've made it drivable, you can move it around the different stations. So it doesn't matter which order you do things in. So it's not the case that if you wash a car and then do some work, it's going to make it dirty again. You can do them in any order. It's really up to you. If you want to get a vehicle and get it sorted out from start to finish, then you can get just one employee, and as we've shown here, you can move them around different stations and do it that way, or you can have a bit of a production line, as I mentioned before. The pickup truck is now gleaming. I'm not sure that I like the red colour actually, and I've changed this a few times, but I'm going to put it back in the paint shop, I think, and make it either black or there's a nice carbon colour. So the paint booth allows us to just change the colour really quickly. So let's see what works. I quite like the black one. It's also a graphite. I'm going to stick with black, I think. There we go. And as with everything else, there's a bit of a timer. So with these types of things, everything is going to use electricity and water. So I would check your tablet and the bank tab fairly often to see what your bills are. I've only just literally probably 10 minutes ago paid some bills, which were nearly 3,000, and we're now already at 1,290. The reason that we want to keep on top of those is, as you saw, If you don't pay your workers, well, hey, they just won't work for you. And if you don't pay bills, that's going to give you a poor reputation. Let's see where the repairs are up to. We've only got 23 seconds, so that's good timing. That means that they're going to go back into the inventory once we've taken them out of the machine. I'll just assign the worker back to the mechanical workshop, like so, and it'll be ready there waiting for us, like so. So we get a nice little heads up in that noise that lets us know that there's an action. Going to move everything out of the repair machine back into our inventory, and we can then do our final reveal of just how much profit we've made from what has been my most expensive purchase to date. So fuse box makes up to 98. I thought we had a brake disc in storage that was better than 96. Okay, so we're not going to be at 100% with everything, but we're not too far off what's going to be the most that we can do. I should mention actually that we can also buy license plates and repair those. So I'll do that in another video. What we'll do is we'll make one, or maybe might go into 2 different videos, is we'll do one where I won't do the commentary because you'll be able to follow what's going on the screen, but we'll go ahead and buy another top-end vehicle once we've sold these and we're back in the black, so to speak. Even though we've got 66,000 there, is to get a vehicle that we can restore to 100%, because what I want to be able to do is start moving into a pattern where we make some money, but we also keep some vehicles as well, as kind of trophies. Okay, let's see how we did. Let's get this onto the yard first. This car is not drivable. Have you forgotten to put something back in, Paul? After I was telling these good people about how great you were. Let's put it down to me. Maybe I didn't ask him to put that brake disc back on. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. It's only going to take 13 seconds, but that's a good indication, isn't it, that if you do miss something, then the car must have all the parts to be drivable at all. Luckily, Paul is an absolute legend. So let's get this onto the forecourt, because the market price, so when we scan it, that's going to show us how much profit we're going to make if we sell at market price. What I've been aiming to do is to get these listed as very competitive in terms of pricing, very attractive. So to leave that in the blue. So we should have already taken some pictures, I think, of this because we had it listed before. All the points on there are in green. We'll go along the rest of our inventory. We don't have the van at the moment. So this was an abandoned vehicle that we just put through the body shop and the wash. So I'm not expecting to make too much of that. That's the superstar of the show that we're going to have a look at in just a minute. And we've also got another Ignis here. So if we scan the car now, actually, do we need to shave some miles off first, or did we already do that? So the bar in the screen there shows that it's halfway up the green, so that tells me that I did already reduce the mileage and I don't want to overclock it. So let's go back to the scanner and refresh. where we were up to. So everything there, apart from the fuses and it was a clutch, it wasn't a brake disc, are 100%. And I'm really tempted actually to get those to 100, but for the sake of the video, let's do this as we said, is that we're going to repair everything and see the profit margin. So the cost price, $111,102. Estimated revenue, $220,640. That is a profit of $109,538. So almost double. So we added apparently nothing to the value by washing and polishing. That's all right. I wanted it to look nice. We've added $35,000. It's $35,714 to be precise, to the bodywork. So that's that, but let's go and see then what we can list it at. And then we'll pop it on the turntable there. We should just have enough time to open up the dealership for business. So over to your ads, and we need to add it. There we go. So select the vehicle. So we're going to add our pictures, which we took in the dark. They're not the best, but why is that one not showing up? Okay. So we've added our photos. So you can see that actually the market value is 220,640. So if I was to put it on at 224,000, it's still deemed a very competitive price. So let's eke out some more. I'm going to go for 200. Oops. Too many twos there. 226,000. 1, 2, 3. Is still in the blue. Post that. And what we'll do is we'll get that up on the display here, because that's supposed to increase the appeal of it. So we're going to open for business. It is 20 past 4, so in the game time, so we might not get too much interest just yet, but I'm not going to let this go for much less than that, because it's been a bit of a labour of love, this one. And I've just pressed the wrong button. Oh, it's just, we got another bit of a glitch there. We're just jumping around. Bear with me. Okay, I might need to come out of the game. Just bear with me and go back in. I'll just save it just in case anything goes wrong. Let's go back to resume. That's sorted it out. I mean, I know we should be jumping for joy with that kind of profit margin, but okay, so let's select our vehicle. That's the one we want. There she is on display. I mean, this for me would normally be a keeper. That's what we're going to move into next. So £226,000, that's on for, keep saying pounds, dollars at the moment. Let's list these other vehicles and then we can start making some money. And that's going to allow me to then move into purchasing some more vehicles, which I am going to do properly, I think, from now on. So we're going to restore things to 100% wherever we can, because we don't need to be worried too much about the volume of flips that we're doing. The reason that I'm getting these listed is I could potentially then get onto the next reputation level as well. I'm going to put this on, how much was that on for? 11,948. So 12.2 maybe. That's still blue. What else have we got? We can't forget about the silver one. That should be worth a couple of quid as well. Add the photos. That is worth 80. So they've recommended 86.3. So let's go for 87.1. Well, that sounds like a customer's interested. $7,100. Is that the right amount of? That's still in the blue. So there we go. That's our inventory. We've got a few quid tied up in there at the moment. And as I've said in other videos, don't be too worried about rejecting people's offers. So there you go. The first person that's come along, I've listed it at 42 and they want 34, which I'll do a bit of haggling. But there's no way, given that I made that a competitive offer, that I'm going to accept a reduction for that much. They've come up to 36. I still want more than that. Oops. And I got to be careful not to press the wrong button here, which I have done before. And accepted the offer instead of rejecting it. 38. 1, 2, 3. 36, 530. What I'm going to do actually, just to prove a point, is if I hold down the circle button, I'll reject that offer and we'll see if we get another customer, because they will generally come along and you get a better one. So that one, because we pitched it at the right level, they've just turned up and said 43,000 is perfect, so we don't need to do any hassling. You've grabbed yourself a real bargain there. The truck, 12,000, and they want to give 9.8. This was an abandoned one, so it's pure profit anyway, but I do want more than 9,800, so I'll call it 11,000. Okay, that's me pressing the wrong button yet again. Obviously did it on purpose, just to show you. We've got a customer for our 226,000. What are they going to offer us? Straight away, 226,000. So there we go. That wraps that up quite nicely, doesn't it? So 111,000. Even with my maths, we've doubled our investment and then some. So I'm reluctant to sell it, but we can't have £226,000 worth of car just sat there. Let's sell through the rest of our inventory. I think, and I could be wrong, when they're waving their arms like that, it means that they're offering full price. No, he's not. He wants to knock £10,000 off.
All right, partner. That's the good deal.
It's a good deal for you. I pressed the wrong button again. I don't know. And full asking price for the other Ignis, 87,000. If we could sell this last vehicle, then we've probably, so how much is that worth? We're at $465,500. If we could hit the $500,000. I didn't list it, so no one's going to buy it. And it's probably getting to the point where the dealership's going to close. Let's see if we can. Oh, we got pictures. It's non-drivable. I think maybe then it's not recognised as being in the inventory. Perhaps. That's a bit of a pain. That means we'd have to get the tow truck out to move it. If it doesn't come up in here, yeah, it's not being recognised in the inventory. Do we have time to move it with the tow truck? Where do we leave the tow truck? We just changed the colour, didn't we? So if I can get it on the yard and sold and end the video with $500,000, that would be a good little result. We've still got people turning up. I don't know what time we close actually, but let's try and make this quick. So we're going to press down on our direction pad to see that we're lined up for towing. Get the cable on. Get it up on, so we need to lower the ramps. Get the vehicle on. Got someone walking through our truck there. Line it up so it's green. Yeah, so it wasn't on properly. A little bit forward. Come on, time is money, people. Forward. And lower the ramps. Oh, no. Get the vehicle off. Get rid of the tow rope. Can we get it listed in time? I think. Oh, we got a customer coming over. Quick, quick, quick. Our ads. Add a new advertisement. It's now being recognised. Add our pictures. 1, 2, 3. Add photos. How much is it worth? 20,000. That's not going to get us there, is it? Well. So we'll list it for 22. Hopefully that's still blue. Yep. Post it. We got. I think we might have just missed the time there. I think that's the end of the working day, but it wasn't quite going to get us to the $500,000 anyway. So let's get this back onto the yard. But there we have it. So once you are at a point where you can splash the cash on an expensive vehicle, as long as you've got the time to invest into restoring it, you're going to make a huge profit. Because that means that we've gone from working on multiple vehicles to just focusing on one. So that's going to be the next video. I'm going to do that without commentary, and what I'll do is, as always, as we hit kind of key benchmarks in the game, I'll check back in with a bit of commentary, because I think in terms of upgrades, let's just have a look. Just a little overview of where we're up to. Mechanical workshop is maxed out. The car wash is maxed out. Gas pump, I haven't actually invested any money into that because it's essentially just a means to refuel your vehicle. So you can sell them on with the full. I was trying not to think of the American thing there. I was getting confused between American and English. A full tank of gas or petrol is what I was thinking of. Is that it's quite a lot of money, quite a lot to invest. So I will do it to complete the game, but I'll focus on the other areas first, and that's not a requirement for these other areas. Body workshop, we've got one more level to go. We need to be reputation level 9, and we're just shy of that at the moment. I was hoping those sales would get us there actually. Office, we have one level to go, and we need to be level 10 for that. So that's kind of the holy grail of our upgrades, is to get to the big fancy car dealership there. What else do we have? And then underground garage was something that I mentioned earlier, so that I think this is a really good kind of what seems to be a response from the devs. So getting your trophies was quite long-winded. So what you'd need to do, sorry, by trophies, I mean the trophy vehicles. So the mechanic for that was that you needed it to be 100% condition. You could take it over to the scrapyard, and you could swap your very expensive, potentially, vehicle for a little trophy that you could then display in your dealership. The trophy wall in there, once you've upgraded your office, it doesn't visually show in there. So a bit like the storage bit that we saw, it just shows as a trophy wall. You can open it and look at your trophies. But instead, what they've done is added an underground garage. I say instead, you can do either or, but the garage means that, as you can see there, you can store up to 20 vehicles. So rather than it being an underground space that you go around and admire your cars, it kind of brings one up at a time, a bit like the display in the dealership. So that is all of the upgrades. That's where we're up to. We then, of course, have all of the trophy aspects of getting all our vehicles. And what I'm probably going to do is balance it out between a project car to get to 100% and sales. And then I'm going to try and get the best cars in the game. And rather than putting them in the underground garage, I'm probably going to park them around the dealership, because even when we upgrade, I'm not sure how many more parking spaces we're going to get. So we currently have, I think it's 8, and the special display within our dealership, which looks a bit sad actually now that it's empty. I hope you're enjoying the videos and the game itself. I can't recommend this highly enough, and as I've said before, I'm very eager to see what else Garage Monkeys can come up with, because this, for me, it's a really pleasant change from the usual simulator type games. So not that they weren't enjoyable, because I have played them for a number of hours, and you are kind of buying into the repetitive nature of things when you buy a simulator. But to have these different kind of levels of depth, so you've got the town around you that is a little bit more lively, there's some points of interest that they could probably develop on. They also added in some other timed events where you get a certain amount of hours to go and source a vehicle that you can then sell on at a better profit than you would usually. The actual in-game mechanics themselves are really well done. So the car wash is kind of like a light version of Power Wash Simulator. You then got the mechanics. You can either do that yourself, or as we've just shown, you can assign workers that can get a production line going. And rather than kind of removing something from the game, it seems to add it, because you can then get vehicles turned around much quicker, and you can start to collect those cars that you really want to. The next upgrade that we've got will also add a photo booth as well. So hopefully that means that we can take more professional pictures of our vehicles. If there are 25 people out there somewhere on our lovely planet watching my videos, then if you could hit the subscribe button, that would be perfect, because then I can potentially start doing a few live streams as well. I need 50 subscribers to get there. So please do hit that subscribe button, and I'll hopefully see you in future videos.
Yeah, you need to get, I mean,